Well, like predicted, they're playing into the 15th tether narrative. Will it be a nothing burger? Today we are finding out, and only time will tell, but Bitcoin is at a crossroads. So it's been a while since Chico has done a Smorgasbord episode of altcoins. So let's borg the smorg, cause it's time for Chico Crypto. An altcoin of old and an altcoin of new. That is what today's episode is all about. So let's begin with one of my favorites, the altcoin of Chico Old, which I believe is going to change the future of energy, and that is the Energy Web chain. So everyone has known about Shell and the Energy Web for some time. Shell was one of the OG 10 who set up the Energy Web Foundation in 2017, and today they are listed as one of the validator nodes, validating blocks on the EWT chain. This has all been through press releases, Energy Web releases on the Energy Web website, only a smidgen of news from Shell themselves. But today that has changed, as Shell now heavily promotes Energy Web on their website and blockchain. And the new stuff reveals so much more. So to begin, within New Energies, they promote the Energy Web Foundation directly and the Energy Web chain. It's beginning, my friends. But that is stuff you can see with your own two eyes, clearly. Chico Crypto loves to make the connections that aren't so clear. So let's begin with supply chain, as Energy Web is involved with this, but you gotta do a little digging to make it clear. So Shell says they have initiated a pilot project to create a decentralized digital passport system for the authentication of equipment, parts, and products. Blockchain technology makes it possible to create a digital passport for a piece of equipment by providing a system that enables data to be disclosed between certain parties in a supply chain. They're working on a decentralized digital passport where data is disclosed only between certain parties, aka privacy in the underlying data. Who else has been working on something oh so similar? Well, the Energy Web Foundation has. They tweeted about it. EWDOS is a tool for establishing decentralized digital passports for every customer, asset, service provider, and authority in a given electricity system. Shell calling their pilot project Decentralized Digital Passports. Energy Web calling EWDOS Decentralized Digital Passports with passports in quotations. Ain't that a coinkadink? Well, this is what proves it to me even more. Sabine Brink is Shell's head of blockchain, and she was recently on a podcast just in December of last year talking about blockchain at Shell. She speaks on Energy Web. Let's listen in.
So, if we're looking at the Energy Web Foundation, the chain has been live now for a full year. It's being run by energy companies, and it's really just the basis and the shared infrastructure for different companies within the energy industry to build applications on top of this open shared infrastructure. And I think this is one of the key critical enablers for us to deploy decentralized applications within this renewable energy space.
It's a key enabler for them to create decentralized applications. She said that less than 30 days ago. Now, Shell also spoke on their digital passport project in that same podcast. Let's listen to what Sabine had to say about that.
And what we came out with is, we can create a digital passport for every single piece of equipment that really, creates that digital representation that is so close to that physical representation that there's no difference between the two. And we can actually automate a lot of the transactions and verifications that need to happen, all channeled through this shared digital passport that lives within a blockchain network. And, instead of, if you're looking at the Shell ecosystem and the amount of partners we work with, we have many different suppliers, many different contractors, inspector companies. It's a very big ecosystem. And, you could say, yes, let's build this solution in a central way where we, capture all the data in a centralized solution. But, it's very challenging to make that centralized solution scale over the, large ecosystem that we have and we need to make this a success. So hence we chose a decentralized solution whereby every single partner is able to store data in their own databases, but there's a clear hash towards that digital passport that is shared within an open network.
She wouldn't mention which blockchain or how or why, but it's decentralized, where existing databases, aka private networks, can connect to the decentralized network and blockchain. Well, let's just go read the EW-DOS roadmap to drive impact at scale. It says, EW-DOS enables private solutions that can leverage public decentralized networks if that same utility wants all operational matters to be conducted in-house using legacy IT systems, no problem. EW-DOS does not prescribe a particular approach to privacy and is flexible enough to work in any context. Is all I have to say, but these Shell EWT connections go much, much deeper. Back at the blockchain piece on Shell's website in trading, at the bottom they say they have invested in LO3 Energy. Another big quinkadinky. LO3 Energy, along with Shell, is one of the validators for the EWT chain. But back at the website, Shell covers LO3's Pando platform. And then, back in September, it was announced that Pando had migrated on top of the Energy Web chain. And the article states, our Energy Web decentralized operating system, EW-DOS, is the digital backbone for that energy future. Front-end platforms like LO3's Pando bridge the gap between EW-DOS's core digital infrastructure and utilities and their customers. So I wish I could stop there, but I can't. As if we go back to EW-DOS's roadmap, they show another integration. They say, in Germany, Sonnen is using EW-DOS to enhance grid flexibility and reduce renewable curtailment through its virtual power plant. Who acquired Sonnen in February of 2019? You guessed it, Shell did. So EW-DOS is being used across Shell's ecosystem partners. So I think EW-DOS is being used in some form for Shell's digital passports, which are decentralized. Now it's time to bring you something new, because a lot of people criticize me because I stay within my ecosystem and don't branch out. So I'm going to do that, branch out a bit into the Yearn ecosystem, as anything new Andre Cronje comes out with is usually successful in the short to mid-term. It's too early to say how long they will be or if these will be successful long-term. So these in the Yearn ecosystem are short to mid-term plays. Well, yesterday, Andre tweeted this. This year, I hope to see a strong focus on capital efficiency, not only in the Wyco system, Iron Bank for Yearn and Alpha, SIL and DaraSwap for Sushi, agnostic cover, and delegated Aave credit. The ability to be able to share capital, not in a fractional sense, is unique to DeFi. So what's interesting about this? Well, SIL, S-I-L, or something about single-sided impermanent loss. 3 days ago, Andre put out this blog, Sushi Swap V2, single-sided exposure and impermanent loss mitigation. In the blog it says, 7 months later and roughly 14 revisions from YSOP to stable credit and now single-sided exposure and impermanent loss mitigation, or SIL. And then at the bottom he said, while we were very happy and excited with the early results of SIL, there are still lots of further reviews required. As such, we will not be making available a public UI in the near future and leave the interaction to advanced users that are able to identify and interact with the SIL contract themselves. So where the funk is a SIL contract? Well, you have to look at Etherscan and the Yearn deployer. This is where the new contracts are pushed out for production and testing. And as we can see, just over 4 days ago, it pushed out transactions with a token called Sushi Swap V2 IL Impermanent Loss Protection. This is it. This is SIL. Now, this is not a finished token. I don't think it's a test production test. There is major risk by going into this. Yearn put out a blog on January 10th saying this. Yearn contributor Andre Cronje has been developing and testing a potential product offering, impermanent loss protection, and enabling single-sided liquidity for automated market makers. Please be aware that this solution is still being tested and any releases are experimental in nature. More pertinent information will be shared as it becomes available. Now, things have been moving in the right direction for the test production token. The contract was verified yesterday on Etherscan, getting the green check. That is a good sign. Then also yesterday, Andre tweeted a hint of the public UI, which allows the advanced users to track their positions, but deposits and withdrawals aren't allowed for it yet. Now, Benjamin30 supposedly talked to Andre about SIL on Telegram, and this is what Andre said regarding the SIL token and if there could be a new one. He says, depends on how it goes. If no critical faults, flaws, exploits, then it will remain as is. And this could happen as SIL is a brand new design of a token that even I'm having a tough time understanding. It's elastic, meaning new tokens are minted and burned based on certain factors. A crypto Nick on Twitter had the best explanation I could find, but even he isn't sure. From my understanding, the supply increases as new SIL are minted for its impermanent loss functionality, but then they get burned when LPs cash out. I don't know, I could be real off here. So, I'm not ape-shatting, nor should anyone else, into a new token that has the possibility of not even being the one and how it fully functions. That is still to be seen. This is high risk, while sticking with something like Energy Web is lower risk, which is a tough thing to find in the crypto industry. Cheers, I'll see you next time.